What's going on, everyone? So I'm back again with another video, and today we're gonna work on this F30. And so today I'm gonna be working on my girl's F30. We are gonna be doing a conversion kit. So I have the wheel spacers, the wheel studs, and I also have really expensive lug nuts. Now the reason why we're doing the conversion is because we are going to slap on these bad boys. So these are Ray's Racing 57 CRs, I believe, and the wheel size, if you guys are curious, they are 19 by 9.5 plus 38 offset. Now the reason why we got the wheel spacers is because plus 38 offset in the front won't clear the strut. So we ended up getting a 10mm spacer for the front so it could clear the strut. But as far as the rear, you should be good on the rear. It has plenty of clearance, so you don't hit the strut. But you can run a spacer in the back. Just keep in mind it does have to be over 10mm. Now if you guys are curious, the tire size on these wheels is 255 35 18. So these are 18s. I'm not sure if people have ran 19s on this car, but I know for sure 18s is what people run, and for sure it's gonna look good. Well, let's hope it does. Fucking huevos, why does it do it? Alright guys, so first things first, let's get the car jacked up in the air, and I think I'm gonna start with the front first. Alright guys, so real quick before we start, I do want to show you guys the spacers, well, everything that we have here. In case you guys are curious, this is the part number for the wheel spacers. They are 10mm, and they also carry up to 20mm, and for all these series. I didn't notice that it was blurry, but here is a better shot at the part number, and here's a better shot at the other options that you guys may have or may want. So when you open up the box, as you can see, you get the wheel spacers here. You get 2 of them, and then not only that, you get a cool keychain. Not only that, you also get extended wheel studs. In case you guys are not doing the conversion, you get a pair of wheel studs so you could go with the wheel spacers. But since we are not going to be using the wheel studs, we opted for the extended wheel studs conversion kit. This specific kit is by Euro Tuning, and here's the part number in case you guys are curious, right there. So this kit also comes with thread locker. It came with red thread locker. You guys could use blue too, but since this one came with the kit, we're just gonna go ahead and use this one. So here are the lug nuts, and just by the look of this, if you guys know, then you guys know. So here is the sheesh, freaking beautiful. Look at that. Sheesh. So it also comes with anti-seize, because these are titanium, so anti-seize is a must. Alright, so I'll show you guys what we have here, so now we could start actually working on the car. Alright guys, so here's the wheel studs. I already did the first one just so I know what I'm doing. But basically, you're gonna get your thread locker. You want to put at least 1 to 2 dots, and very small dots. That's all you really need because it's very strong. And then all you have to do is just screw it in. Now keep in mind, you are gonna want to torque these down. Alright guys, so now that you have all your studs in, the last thing you want to do, and you make sure you're torquing these down, so you're going to want to torque these down to 25 foot-pounds of torque, each one of them. Alright guys, so now that you finished torquing all these down to 25 foot-pounds, you're going to move on to the next side and just do the exact same process, and you're going to do that for each side. Alright guys, so before we move on, I just want to show you guys real quick. So here's the spacer. Honestly, this is just how it goes. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to put on the spacer, but I just want to show you guys how it looks like. And then we're gonna put the wheel on, but before we put the wheel on, I just want to show you guys real quick. So this silver ring here, this is a hub centric ring. So here's one out of the box. Basically, because this is a European car, you need to run the hub centric ring if you decide to run Japanese wheels. So because this is a Japanese wheels, their hub size is way different. Therefore, I went and picked these hub centric rings up so it can mount perfectly on the hub without any movement. Basically, here is the part number in case you guys are curious, or in case you guys do want to pick up a set of Japanese wheels. Just make sure you pick up a set of hub centric rings. This one is 74 millimeter the outer diameter to 72.6 millimeter inner diameter, and it does come in the 4-piece set. And honestly, they're not even that expensive. This was probably like 20 bucks. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slap this wheel on, and I'm gonna move on to the other side. I'm gonna do the exact same thing and then just do that for all 4 sides, and I'll get back to you guys when I'm done. So just one thing I forgot to mention, because the racing lug nuts are titanium, they also provided some anti-seize so you can put on the studs so they don't get stuck or hard to take off. Honestly, you don't need a lot. You kind of just need a little bit, maybe that much. Even that might be a little too much, but you can never go wrong with a lot of anti-seize. But that's pretty much it. Alright guys, a little disclaimer. So we've came into a problem, just a small problem. So apparently the 10 millimeters is not enough to clear the strut on this car, only because the coilovers are so much thicker than the stock suspension. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove the 10 millimeter spacer and we're gonna bump it up to a 15 millimeter. The tire is barely touching the strut. It does move forward and back, but it's too close to my liking, so I think the 15 millimeter will do just fine. It will clear enough of the strut. So my goal is just to inform you guys and kind of like help anyone that's driving maybe a BMW, because I did a lot of research and a lot of people are saying they're running 5 millimeter, 6 millimeter, or 8 millimeter spacers in the front, but as you can see, these do not fit. The offset on these wheels is a +38, so when I add these spacers, which is a 10 millimeter spacers, it drops it down to a 28 offset, but even then it's still hitting the strut. Now I think it's because the coilover is so much thicker than the stock suspension, and it sits so much lower, so the collar of the coilover where the spring sits, it's hitting the tire. So I think, in case you guys are wanting to, I guess, put the same wheels on, just keep in mind, I think 15 millimeter will be just fine if you guys are running coilovers. If you guys are running stock suspension and on springs, I think 10 millimeter is just fine. But if you guys are on coilovers and slam, just make sure it's 15 millimeters or 12 millimeters and up, and you'll be good. So now that we figured that out, we ordered some new spacers off Amazon, so they should be here tomorrow. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move to the back and just finish up the car, and I'll show you guys the final results. What's going on, everyone? So it's literally the next day. So I just want to show you guys the final results, and I want to kind of tell you guys what I actually ended up doing to the car in order to have the front wheels fit. Alright, so here is how the car is sitting right now. As you can see, the fitment is like perfect. It's dialed in. And also, excuse me for my voice, I am a little sick, but yeah, we can still move on with the video. So in the previous clips, you guys can see that I was having trouble fitting these front wheels on, only because the inner barrel was hitting the coilover. It was actually hitting the collar where the spring sits. Now originally what we ended up doing, we ended up just purchasing a 15 millimeter spacer and just slapping them on the front, and the wheel fit perfectly. So if you guys do pick up the same set of wheels, just keep in mind that if it is a 38 offset and you are trying to fit a 9.5 in the front, just keep in mind you will have to run some spacers. If you are on coilovers and slam, I would recommend anything from 12 millimeters and higher. So on the car it is a 15 millimeter. In the previous clips you guys saw me test fit the 10 millimeter and it was still hitting the collar, but I could have easily raised up the car and we would have been perfectly fine, but we wanted the fitment that it is at right now, so the 15 millimeter worked perfect for us. Honestly, I love how the car came out. The front end looks amazing, the hood looks amazing, the wheels, man, the wheels on that front fitment is amazing. As you can see, it's like it pokes just a little bit, but it looks so aggressive. I'll show you guys the rear fitment too. I love the rear fitment. The rear fitment, it tucks the tire, man, I love that. We can go lower in the front if we want to, but I'm afraid that we will hit the collar ring again. So for right now, this fitment is just perfect. I think that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys like it, and I'll catch you guys at the next one.